right. Turn that on. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, it sounds like everybody's here, so we're ready to get kicked off? Nick?
Yep.
Alright. I hadn't heard you.
As I'm sleepy.
Well, wake up.
Nah.
I don't know my ideas then. I tried. Okay, so let's see, where did we leave off last week? Anyone?
Punching some bitch in a tavern.
Trying not to punch some bitch in a tavern, if I remember rightly. Us
Having a-
sat around the table questioning whether we were going to believe anything that
Oh,
Mr.
right.
and Deadman said.
Yeah, we were gonna do scouting after talking to what's his face.
Yeah, that's right. That was... Why does that always come in there?
Is that where it goes?
No, there's there's a handout that no matter how many times I delete it, anytime I come into the game, it's there again. If I tried archiving it, it makes a copy. Delete it, it comes back.
It's the bad penny handout.
Yeah, you were talking to, it was Vinder, too, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the woman you wanted to punch would have
the
been...
cunt.
My workmate asked me why I questioned or wanted a funny way of calling someone a cunt. Straight up asked me when I got to work the day
What?
after.
Why? Yeah.
He was like, okay, why? Like, because the character is so good that we hate her that much that I need just calling her a cunt doesn't cover it.
That would be Melika Vendemic.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Melika
The
Vendicant?
cunt. Vendor cunt!
There you go.
Vendicant.
Yes.
Nice.
I do believe Bristol likes her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. She's got goals. Yeah.
It's got a
It's quite good
point.
points.
Okay.
Were I to apply an adjective that would be unmitigated,
What was the phrase in the end? I'd call you a cunt, but I don't think you have the depth or capacity for pleasure.
that was a referral to Trump, I thought.
No, I just straight up asked my mate, how can I call someone a cunt creatively? And he gave me that. I was like, yep, that'll do. But it works for Trump as well.
Okay, so you guys were gonna be, you were sitting down discussing if you were gonna take vendors' information or not, right? Or
No, we
trust
were
them or
gonna
not.
We're gonna take it with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
So take his information and then
Take his information, ignore it, do whatever you want anyway.
not ignore it, but verify it.
All right, because I believe that's kind of what he was. Melinka was upset because they don't have any information inside Bratislava. Vinder offered that information. She doesn't trust Vinder. Vinder came to you guys, said, "Well, I have this information, so fine." And then it sounded like the bulk of the party doesn't trust Vinder either.
I thought only 2 people didn't trust him.
I think the bulk meaning
The vocal
Zor-
minority.
Yeah.
Zora and Ristel.
Mm.
I'm indifferent. I know I don't like the cunt, but I don't have any ill feelings towards what's his face currently.
Vinder. I don't think before this. I don't know that Naren ever met Vinder.
Yeah, he's the one with the skeleton horse, yeah?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
I thought that was because she came in the night. I could have sworn that was the.
No, she
Well-
was there for it.
I was there for
Yeah,
the
so-
sleeping, but I didn't have interaction with him until he went to take the dude
Oh
back,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you did. Okay, it would have been
and
the next day.
Tac got kicked in the face or something.
He boot to the chest.
Classic Tac Tac.
Pretty much, yeah. So I guess I'll leave it up to you guys. So, do you want to bunk down for the night, or just go report over to him right away, or to Melanka or Vinder, or either one of them?
I think the idea was for Brahman Rockman or Naren and
It
Rockman
was
to go
Brom and
speak to-
Rockman were gonna go talk to Vinder.
Yeah,
He knows, yeah.
and then we were all going to go scout out Brodosaur.
Right. Were we going to wait for Rockman and Brom to get back before doing
Yeah,
that?
we weren't going to
Gone,
leave
like-
without them.
I
Yeah,
know.
we're gonna be like 15 minutes.
Well, I know.
It's
Okay.
like,
Guys,
and they're there.
I know we were.
Yeah,
gonna
we're
wait
not
till-
quite in Morgau and Daresh yet, so that'd be a. It's smarter to wait.
I know we were gonna wait till night though to move.
Rockmon can not cast Tireless on everybody except for himself and Brahm, and then we can address that.
You promised we weren't going to run.
So you said Brahm and Rockman are going to talk to Vinder, right?
Aye, aye, Capitan.
See.
Is anyone going to go talk to Melanka?
Fuck that cunt.
Not even to let her know you guys are going to check it out?
No, we're not. We don't want anyone to know.
Okay.
Nah, Rist already said as much when we left.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want anyone to know. That way, like, if there's someone dirty.
That way, when they
Sure,
find your bodies, no one knows who it is.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did say to Malika that we were going to scout ahead.
but we
Yeah.
didn't say when.
No, but scouting ahead implies that prior to when they arrive.
I think we need a spreadsheet to keep track of whose opinion covers what area.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be tough to miss with an army to look around.
Oh, that's better. All right. Realized I hadn't brushed my hair yet this morning, so I still had this like nightmarish mess in my head.
Don't worry, no one can see you.
Yeah, the brush I
Begins
have
with-
actually feels nice to be able to brush with it though. Soft bristles.
So Rockmon and Brahm could go talk to Vinder, and then Ristel and Naren could go talk to Melanka, whatever her name is. Let her know what's going on, and then we could all get back together and head out. That seems to have gone over as
Yeah.
something of a lead balloon.
And silence, yeah.
No, we already let Melanka know that we're going to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you'd be able to find Vinder. I'd say if... Let's see, what time of day was it when we left off?
It was getting later in the
Getting lit.
evening, I think.
That's right. Yeah. So you'd probably find Vinder probably downstairs trying to find a seat at the bar. Just gonna off by himself as best he can. So Rockman and Brahm were gonna go talk to him.
Sure. So I guess Rockmon will just go up to him and say, I think we're going to try to scout ahead to Bratislor to get some more information. Sounds like there's a bit of a difference in opinion of who we should and shouldn't trust. So I think it's probably best. Well, I don't actually personally think it's probably best, but from the group's perspective, we think it's best to head on just as our group. But I was wondering if you could give us some information on how we could best approach Bratislor to try to get in and do a little bit of scouting.
It'd be one of those like as you came up and started explaining that you're gonna go check it out. He'd really quick kind of throw the glass back, set it down, and almost get up to go get his bags. And then as you go on about just our group, he'd kind of stop for a second. So you mean to? Okay. Fine. Look, there's around one side of the town, around one side of the gate, there's an access. Very few know about it. Even fewer actually use it. It's fairly well hidden. Really easy to walk right past, and I didn't know it was there.
Is there some way that we could actually be likely to find it?
Yeah, and kind of as he's saying this stuff, he would have like pulled out like a piece of paper or something like that, and he's kind of almost making this almost a stick map, or when your kids make a map, just that here's how to get to Grandpa's house, or like the pirate map.
Or a very rough map, basically.
Yeah, super rough, and it's like real simple stick figures, and it kind of goes around to the side, and you see it kind of comes around. If you figure the main gate is more or less on like the southeast side of the city, it looks like it goes probably about a third of the way around, like clockwise around the city. That would be southeast, probably more like the southwest or west southwest side of the walls, and he'll kind of start making in some notes in the side about this gate. It seems apparently it's essentially like a sewer access that has been mostly grown over with like shrubs and plants and such. So it's pretty easy to overlook.
Do any of the vampire lords and ladies of the town know about this? I'd hate to go through an exit that's being watched.
Well, the family knows of it. Nobody uses it. None of the family actually use it actively. It's more as should all hell break loose. But it is also a quick way past the gate and the walls and the guards. It'll actually take you out into the castle courtyards.
So, assuming that we're able to find this and get in, do you have any recommendations on what we should look for? What kinds of things we should watch out for, etc.?
Well, I would certainly keep your heads down. There's not many gear forged in Bratislor at all. As for the rest of your party, from what I've seen, you should be okay. Your green friend, I would keep him on a leash. He seems pretty easily agitated. Hey.
You haven't been there in quite a few weeks now, so things may be different. But what kind of defenses do you expect there to be? We'd like to verify that information, see how much other preparations he's been doing.
Well, let me think. They do have the family itself. Ristina is quite a capable combatant in her own right. Certainly skilled. As far as the family itself, the family proper, smaller. Last I knew, there were 6 official members. As far as guards, depending on the time of day or night, certainly not easily taken down. Led mostly by lower tiered or lower ranked vampires themselves. Family's not. Before I left, I believe you guys ended up encountering one of them before at the farm, but while gear forged are rare, they do occasionally bring out, or they come out with their. The family comes out with their own versions. The Fellforged you guys encountered. A little harder to control, but effective nonetheless.
So they would be typically used as guards, or more like frontline. The one we ran into seemed to be out doing an investigation, or perhaps just on the way to try to kill some folks.
Fellforged are more difficult to control due to their nature, so typically they're used as solo units. Once unleashed, they'll attack everything. Harder to identify friend from foe. They don't. The city doesn't necessarily check every individual. So, as I said, keep your head down. You should be fine. Cultists, humans. They, on the other hand, are a little bit of a wild card. They haven't been in town very long, and I don't know much about them. They'd taken over a section of the city. Family helped them. That's where I think, or that's where I ended up seeing the creatures that they were holding up. The dragons.
Dragons, yes. Okay. Any other advice?
The main gates can be heavily fortified. Certainly watched, as well as the road along the way.
So stay off the road then.
If you do, or should you stay on the road, just make sure your affairs are in order.
Would you recommend entering or attempting to enter the city in the daytime or at night?
Well, the family and their ilk largely patrol at night. Daytime, probably easier if you're going to go in through the gates. Probably the day.
It's kind of what I was thinking with the family. That seemed like a somewhat safer approach, but glad to hear from you that that's what you think as well. Rom, any other questions?
Yeah, I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but is there anyone in the city that you know that might be able to offer us any aid or shelter once we get inside?
Well, as far as I know, anybody that would have is already outside the city, unfortunately.
Do you think the any prisoners that were captured are being held outside the city?
Oh no, they would definitely be in the castle.
Okay.
Ristina does not take kindly to disloyalty in any form.
Fair enough. Thank you for your information. I wish things were a little different with the group, and we could have you along at least to get us there and show us the way. But hopefully we can verify some information and improve that situation with this venture.
Wish you luck. Come back alive.
That's the plan. Try to make it happen.
All right. So it sounds like the group's gonna meet back up.
Yep.
And he would have given you more or less like a basic map of how to get through the sewers. So. So meeting back up. You guys are heading out, right?
We'll tell the rest of the group everything we heard or learned.
Does that include the lead comment?
Which lead comment?
Keep the green one on a leash.
Oh, no, we probably won't say that.
Okay, good.
I meant more in terms of
The info, yeah.
the information to help us get in and out alive, hopefully.
So, groups heading out tonight, or wait until tomorrow.
How long have we been traveling?
Quite a while.
Yeah, when was the last time we took a long rest?
A day ago. Quite a while.
Might be a good idea to get a long rest in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Rockmont has plenty of spells available.
From where you guys are at, let's see. Let me pull up that handout. Margrave. from where you guys are at now, that was Fortnite or Forest King? Fortnite, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Second to last in.
Forest King.
Forest King. Okay. So from where you guys are at normal travel pace, you would be able to make it to Valak in about a day. To Broadislor, normal travel pace, you're looking day and a half, 2 days.
By normal travel pace,
Mhm.
do you mean our normal?
No,
Or
Like-
okay,
like the like vendors travel pace.
yeah.
So like real travel pace.
So if we get
Enhanced travel pace would be what, a third of that?
Yeah, so if we got a nice early start, we should be able to get there before it gets too close to dark.
Let's see. If you were to start, yeah, like bright and early, 6 a.m., just as the sun's coming up kind of thing. Do a hard day's march, or high pace, something like that. With tireless, I'd say you gotta be able to make it. Probably mid-afternoon.
That sounds tempting for us to end up getting stuck in the city at night and have quite the adventure.
I imagine we'll probably do a bit of scouting first.
Yeah.
Take our time.
There is a farm just outside the city too, that you know of.
Yeah, I imagine that's being watched.
Mm-hmm.
That's Nathan imagining. Zora knows not of this farm.
You could see if Nanamu and whatever the cows were named.
Hang on. Party notes, where are they?
I have it someplace.
Branislav. No?
Unoa and Naranu.
There you go.
Wansimu and Satmu.
I like how you guys can remember the cows we can't remember.
Anything else? Yeah.
We named the cows.
They spent a lot of time naming those cows.
Well,
It
what's
helps that we
Sarah's,
wrote down all of their names.
Mm-hmm.
what's Sarah's character's name? I can't remember that. But...
Bram, who's that guy?
All right, so get a good night's sleep. Head out first thing in the morning.
Right.
Sounds
That's
good.
it. I'm assuming you guys are taking tireless to get there.
Yes, I would think so.
Okay.
Expediency seems like a good thing.
Now the other question: what kind of a travel pace are you doing?
We
Roadrunner?
probably want to go a little bit slower than we can, so
Like I
that
said.
we make sure to avoid any eyes.
Like I said, if you're packing up and heading out like 6, 7 a.m., crack of dawn, balls to the wall, full bore all the way there, you'd get there probably 2, 3 o'clock. If you're slowing down a bit, and taking it a little bit more, if you're going like a slow pace, you're looking probably closer to like 6 or 7.
So we could try to go at a moderate pace, faster than normal, but then try to find a safe place a little ways away from Bratislor for one more night, and then try to get to Bratislor first thing in the day. That gives us this maximum number of hours of light before to do some exploring before the vampires all come out.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Okay, so we go ahead and take a long rest. Look. Okay. So everyone's gonna kind of take a long rest, bed up for the night, kind of get some sleep. Heading out the next day. So give me a d20. Okay.
Hey, pretty good.
So through the morning, you guys are kind of everybody gets packed up. They head out nice and early. Getting through the rest of this forest actually goes through really nice. There's a little bit of kind of a wispy fog kind of coming across the forest path or across the trail. But it's nice and it's peaceful, almost serene. Kind of quiet, just like morning birds kind of chirping off in the forest every now and then. As you get to the edge of the forest, it kind of opens up a little bit. As you get past the edge, you start exiting the forest, the trees start to get a little bit more sparse. You start coming up to the mountain ranges kind of looming up above you.
Are these New York mountains or are these real mountains?
These like cartoon mountains. You just like
Bring
walk
it
up and
around.
there's a mountain right there. Here there be mountains. No, these are like legit mountain ranges. Yeah.
Ooh. Probably about this time Zora would say, hang on, did the message that we should be careful on the road get passed on to Zora?
Yes.
And that we might be watched whilst on the road?
Yep.
At this point Zora would say, if we're potentially being watched, is it not likely that they might know the army's coming?
Well, I'm sure they know the army's coming.
Well, when he said that, he was meaning more like once you get not necessarily the long road in the Margrave, not the entire road, but just kind of like the 10, 15 miles coming up to Brodislor kind of thing.
Yeah, that's not the concern. The concern is, if they know the army's coming, would they not potentially guard this other entrance?
Not many people know about it.
But the lords do.
That's why we're gonna take it slow. It's a
Okay.
chance at something that is, at the very least, probably less guarded than the front gate. Unless you
This-
want to try those.
Except they know Vinder, and they know Vinder's not helping them. So if the army's coming, wouldn't it make sense that he would tell them?
We did try. They didn't listen.
But his family doesn't know that.
No matter what, we're gambling.
We don't look like soldiers. Not from Zobek, anyway. If we're going to try to get into the city at all, we could just take the main gate.
Just walk in.
Eh. Take some care not to stand out too much.
Have you
But
seen
yeah.
us?
So it's just gonna turn to look at Erin.
What?
and then at the brand new shiny gear forged.
Yeah, Rissel's gonna look over at Brom. I wasn't going to say anything specific, but yes, you.
Why'd you look at me? And I just turned into my human. Like, what?
Yeah, he's just like, yeah. We do kind of stand out.
Are you racial profiling me right now?
Does she ask that in character?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say the irony of a plant racially profiling someone is.
I just like the fact that Naren has darker skin, almost like that shadowy gray skin and like black fur. So it's very much. It's because I'm black, isn't it?
It's because I'm black. Look, I'm black now. Just deal with it
I like the I'm black now.
now.
And Mago says, "It's because I'm black and gray."
It's because you're both black and grey.
There is a certain place in hell for me.
Yep. It's called a throne. I've been building mine for a while.
Has anybody looked at Rockmon recently?
Black feathers.
Yeah.
You're just a bird. Those are everywhere.
Is it? Oh wait, no. So it's on a mountain or whatever, right?
What's that?
Bottoslore.
Broadoslore, yeah. I mean, the city itself is kind of like there's a bit of a mountain peak, and they kind of built the city and the castle around it. Like they just kind of like shaved off the top of the peak, put a castle there, or built the castle into it, carved it out of it.
There's no like surrounding forest we could potentially hide in.
There is some wood coming up to it, but a lot of it's mostly farmland.
If worse comes to worse, then depending on if we can get a view inside from outside, I could teleport the metal man here along with me inside. Try to find a secluded corner where it won't draw too much attention.
Technically, so could I.
Are you guys really fighting over who can teleport?
I don't teleport. I turn
She
into
bamps.
shadow and slither.
I prefer bamfing.
Bumph.
Let us keep going and then decide once we have as much information. Again.
It's funny how, like, when I picture it, Naren and Ristel really do have this sibling rivalry, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And similar abilities, so yeah. Yeah. It really plays into it.
Similar spells.
I'm just waiting for someone to get accused of being adopted. I'm waiting for that.
We already did that last time, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did? I can't remember.
Yeah, Naren said he was adopted.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. That was last week.
Rista was adopted and Naren was kidnapped.
Exactly.
Well.
Naren just has Stockholm syndrome.
Badly.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Kind of why I want you to find Seven at some point.
That'd be interesting.
It would be very interesting. Moving on.
Okay, so. What are you guys doing?
We're walking on down the road.
But it sounds like there was discussion about either going through the gate proper or finding a place to hole up for a little bit, like slipping into the side, or...
Yeah, Zora said let's wait until we've got all the information before we consider anything. Wait until we've scouted. and no one disagreed, so I'm guessing that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Why is that one? What the fuck? Oh. Boop. There we go. Jam layer. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, as kind of as you come along, it's relatively, actually, just kind of peaceful along the way. Pretty quiet.
Sweet.
I guess you guys get up to the city. You come out of the woods and start kind of climbing up the mountain, zipping along the way. As you're running up this road, you notice a couple of things. Where the... I mean, would you guys detour off to check on the collection or not? Or are there more pressing matters? The cave with the eggs?
Yeah, I'd forgotten about them, but Zora doesn't know of them, so...
I don't know about them either.
Well, so the Nicholas Flew told us that the whatever the archmages had sent somebody to fetch the eggs.
Mhm.
So I don't think we would have, from Rockmon's perspective, I don't think he would have any reason to go check it out necessarily.
Okay, no problem. Just checking.
I guess we could go see if Vor is hanging out there.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, about the only thing you kind of notice as you're coming along, or coming along the road, the initial climb up to this mountain, there's kind of this large, large buffalo-like creature. There's this, the corpse is kind of on the side. It's tough to make out exactly what it was when it was living. It's been picked pretty clean. Just some tatters of stuff left kind of hanging from the bones. Not much. Otherwise, yeah, you guys will end up making it up, coming up to the city of Rotislor.
Did anybody loot the dead animal?
And so is there anything on the animal to loot?
I mean,
I was
bones,
assuming no, but
tatters of rotting flesh?
We killed that, right?
Probably, yeah.
Another emphasis on beware the road.
The road should beware of us.
I figure with the group that you have, I think that'd be Brom and Rockmon would probably, like, if they were to think back, oh yeah, that thing.
The orcs.
Yeah, we killed that.
I think Vor mostly killed that.
Oh, that's it.
Evan
with you
got
now.
caught in the fire, right?
Yeah, suddenly
Seven
I'm
didn't,
getting flashbacks.
Seven didn't fare too well in that situation.
That was the first time he lost his plants.
That's
What does
right.
it look like? Pick the bones clean. Does it look like it was a lot of little animals, or does it look like it was one creature?
Give me investigation. So, I imagine you guys are just kind of like looking at it as you're running past. I mean, from the looks of it, it's because it's been 6-8 weeks, something like that. That It's been kind of everything has been picking at this thing, so there's really not much left at all. I mean, you can see a couple of spots where there's like the bone's been kind of chewed on by something smaller. It looks like something probably dragged a chunk of it away, like a leg or something, ripped it off and kind of dragged it away. But there's really not much left of it. As far as what picked it apart, it seems like it was just kind of the forest did. Nature.
No markings of large or larger creatures on it.
Oh, if it was a large, like a troll or an ogre or something big, it would have just taken the whole damn thing. Anything else? Like I said,
No.
I'm assuming you're just kind of like, almost as if you're glancing at this as you're running by. Unless
Well,
you're stopping to kind of check it out more, then yeah.
Yeah, no, I would not have just given it a glance running by. I would have slowed down.
Okay. Yeah, as
Yeah,
far as
Crystal doesn't know this was us.
right. Yeah, like I say, it looks like something probably tore off a decent sized chunk of it because it was a large creature to begin with. So something tore off a good sized chunk and probably dragged it away. And kind of looking at the bones a little bit, like I said, you can see some spots where there's some smaller teeth marks on it. Forest animals, things like that. But as far as anything specifically, I'd say there's so much that has been feeding on this. It's tough to pick out any one specific thing.
Okay.
Unless you had a certain creature in mind.
I'm thinking anything. Like, I'm imagining claw or teeth marks on bone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if there were rats or vultures pecking at what was left, like, they wouldn't have been big enough to override the big markings. So, like, a dragon or something of that nature.
Something like a grown dragon. No, you're not seeing anything that sized.
What about a dragon like we fought along with its dwarf thrall?
No, not really.
All right.
All right. Anything else?
I think that'd be it.
Okay. So, continuing along the path, and I would say that's probably. You said you guys are taking more of a careful pace.
Yep.
So I'd say that's probably closer to midday, about noon, that you come across that. You're exiting the forest. Exiting the forest. Heading on out on the rest of the way to Broadeslore. Go back to the cross. I've been jumping between maps. That would put you guys right about there. Alright, so along there. Like I say, you're coming up on Broadeslore, so continuing on same pace?
Don't see why not.
Okay. Zipping on along the way. As you kind of make it through these mountains, everything starts to really kind of peel away. You get that the trees really kind of died off way back as you were getting into the mountains. Even coming out of the mountains, there's just kind of some loose vegetation. Everything kind of stays a lot lower. At best, you've got some grasslands that are like knee height. Where Where did it go? Have to find it. Where did it go? Ah. Hmm? Oh, okay, there we go. And everybody did their level up, right?
Yeah.
Just remembering, that's all. There's that. Come up to these main crossroads. Sorry. I had to dig through my notes and check something. Come up to these crossroads. You're going to see kind of a little ways off, a couple 100 yards off. You're going to see two trolls kind of walking almost west to east in front of you as you're coming north. So, let's see. Be like that way. And they're probably 150 yards out. Something like that. They seem to be dragging just something behind, or one of them is kind of dragging something behind them. It's a little, from this distance, it's a little tough to make out. And they don't seem to have noticed you.
Does it look like they're outfitted in any way?
As far as like armor and junk like that?
Yeah, weaponry, gear, anything like that?
One of them looks to be carrying. Actually, you know what? Give me perception.
All of us, or just him?
Sure.
Ah, fuck. I have a +5 to perception, so 14.
Did you have a +6 then? Did you change?
I rolled
something?
persuasion.
Ah.
Persuasion, not a perception.
Yeah.
I could see something kind of for once.
$15, 15, 21. Anyone else? No?
Sorry, wait, what?
Perception.
Oops.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, let's see. That would be.
Mongo always seems to be very perceptive. Like, from what I understand, a lot of times he gets high perception.
And then
Mr.
rolls
Intelligence.
low everything else.
Yep.
So, Ristal, Azora, Mongo for sure, Rockmon. I guess it'd really just be. You guys would all notice. Mongo would probably notice the most of this, and then everything else. But one of them looks to be. They don't really seem to be like outfitted for like battle, like proper armor or anything like that. Oh, excuse me. But the one seems to, or one of them seems to have this kind of larger, almost great club, just kind of just slung over its shoulder or hanging over its shoulder a little bit. The second one kind of dragging this larger thing. Like I said, it's a little tough to make out. Mongo's going to kind of look at this, and it almost looks to be a person of some breed. He's just gonna. It's just gonna be dragged by like a leg. Arms are kind of hanging back, and even from this distance, every now and then you can hear like a rock get hit.
That's gonna be a headache.
Does the body appear to be moving?
Aside from when it bumps onto something and being dragged, otherwise like resisting or like that, it doesn't seem to be.
Okay, and is it human sized, smaller, or larger?
Human sized, medium, 2 legs, 2 arms.
So just to clarify, there is nothing identifying these trolls as being anything but wild monsters.
Not that you can see from this distance. No. I say it's probably about 150 yards.
How does, since trolls are pseudo plant things too, how does Zora feel about
Are they?
trolls?
In some worlds, yeah, they're kind of fungus and rock creatures.
I picture these to be more akin to almost ogres, kind of like regenerating ogres. It's in
Giant
fact,
kind.
let's do this. Give me history checks or no nature checks. Sorry, for anybody that wants to know about trolls.
Do I have them? I do. You know what that is?
Hey,
That's
Zora.
nature.
Zora knows about nature.
Nature, yeah. I figured of all the people that should probably take nature,
The person made largely of plant matter should probably know about
yeah,
nature.
you should probably understand some of it.
So Zora would be able to relate to the group, and Mongo would probably remember. Mongo and Naren would both remember quite a bit as well, but Zora would really kind of get the lowdown. If you think of trolls and ogres, ogres are going to be kind of just these big hulking mountains of destruction. Trolls usually kind of run by themselves, but where they might not necessarily have the raw power and strength of an ogre, they have regeneration. They're not necessarily plant and moss kind of creatures. Like I said, they're still flesh and blood. It is a little rare to see them kind of out in the plains, out in the open like this. Typically, they like more almost kind of darker places where they can use their their size and things like that to their advantages. Typically, it's more forests, occasionally a cave, certainly lakes and such. But
Ambush
See-
predators.
yeah, they are strong in their own right. Not necessarily like ogre strong, but yeah, they typically run more ambush predator, and seeing them work together is not impossible, but it is pretty rare.
Yeah, Zora would relay that, and just his first thought is either they've sprung a trap, or they've been forced out of their home, one or the other. So, should we help that person?
If this is unusual behavior for trolls, and you can almost be certain this close to the city, the bloodsuckers are behind it. Probably best not to mess with them.
Maybe.
All the more reason to mess with them.
Yeah, Travis, to Zora with that 22. Does this look like... I know they're ambush predators. Have they ambushed and this looks like they've done it? So if we were to attack them now, they wouldn't be expecting it.
From what you're seeing now, it looks like whatever whatever being that is they're dragging seems to have been ambushed. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're likely
Yes.
dragging that back to their hovel, their cooking spot.
Yeah. No, these... I think these trolls have ambushed this person in their normal hunting style. Just 2 of them this time.
But they're working together and they're out in the open.
Ambush works that way sometimes. What I'm saying is the ambush they have done they're done. They are now retreating.
What
If
I'm
we-
saying is they're working together. You just said they're usually solitary.
Usually.
This close to the city, I don't think that's a coincidence.
You don't.
No, and if there's any chance the vampires are involved with them, that they're conscripts or something, then that is exactly why we should avoid them and avoid raising trouble while we're trying to sneak inside their city.
What would be bad by killing them?
If they're working for the guys inside, it would alert them.
And your buddy said the roads are being watched.
Ram, do you think the vampires might try and align with some of the trolls?
I feel like vampires would not likely do that. But at the same time, a good point was brought up. If the roads are being watched, we shouldn't really be causing a ruckus. As much as it pains me to have to say that maybe if that person is alive or not that we should abandon them, I feel like that might be the course we need to take. Also, maybe we should just save them, if it's possible, if they're not already dead.
No,
say-
you... Oh, carry on.
I say we just leave them, let nature take its course.
I agree.
Well, I think that we should kill the trolls. Save the person.
The person's probably already dead.
Maybe.
Unless
Trolls don't
trolls
tend
are
to
known.
take them alive, do they, Travis?
If they can, I mean, they're not opposed to it.
Throw them in the cook pot no matter what.
Fresher meat.
Yeah.
If they're trying to stock up on something, they'll occasionally. Yeah.
I imagine to a troll, you knock somebody, whether you hit somebody in the head if they kill them or knock them out, doesn't make any functional difference to them.
Yeah, not really. It's still meat.
Yeah. I'm trying to fathom whether they're intelligent. If obviously they're intelligent enough to prepare food, but whether they're intelligent enough to not completely cudgel the motherfucker to death.
Oh yeah,
They might be dead just from hitting rocks while being dragged.
Yeah, I was gonna say at
With-
least a concussion.
With a 22, I'd say Zora would know they're not the brightest creatures in the world.
Yeah.
They're not exactly the smartest or most well-spoken. They're kind of ugly.
Kinda?
Yeah. Well, they have regeneration, but it tends to get kind of overdeveloped scar tissue kind of thing. It heals, but yeah, you can see when they've been cut. As far as are they smart enough to not just bludgeon it into a red paste? Yeah.
No,
Supposed
I
to be.
mean enough control that they would know to knock someone out as opposed to knock their head off.
Yeah.
Would they just hit until it stops moving, or would they? I'm not saying they're stupid enough to go, huh, just check, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, they can pull punches occasionally.
Okay.
But like, Rom said, we don't know if their heads caved in from hitting the rocks.
Yeah.
And even if that poor bastard is alive, there's no positive to helping him.
Well, I feel like that's a positive in and of itself.
Yes, but
Correct.
he makes it back to the city.
Or
Even if he doesn't turn... Where else is he going to go this close to the city? I don't imagine the vampires let their cattle run free.
But what if he is? He could give us vital information.
Your buddy already told us that anybody that would help us is already gone.
This person's not in the city.
Yep. Not necessarily from the city.
Yeah,
It
we
could
know that
be-
there is an active resistance group outside of the city.
Could be from Aurora's group.
Then he's dumb enough to have been caught by trolls.
You were dumb enough to be caught by goblins.
An overwhelming number of goblins.
I'm sorry, that is exactly what Zora would say.
It's
I
true.
feel as if 2 trolls might be an overwhelming number of trolls for most people.
And we are not most people.
But to run away from in the open as opposed to being ambushed in the forest by dozens of creatures. This is just some poor schmuck that got caught. He's
So
not going to be
why
able to
should-
tell us anything.
Why shouldn't we save him?
Because it'll draw a
Waste
lot of
our
attention and it'll cause a lot more trouble than he's worth.
I agree with Bongo. We
And
should
waste
save them.
our time. We're on limited time.
Exactly. We're on a timetable here.
Okay.
If we want to get any kind of information out of the city, we
How
need
many
to do so
rounds?
relatively quickly.
How many rounds of battle do you think 2 trolls are going to take against our party?
I'm not going to metagame that.
How long do you think the battle would last? A couple of minutes?
Show of hands, who thinks we need to go save this person as opposed to going on inside of the city? I say we go inside the city.
So screw him.
Yeah. It sucks for him, but it's one person.
As much fun as it is playing Demon's Advocate, no. This one person. Let nature, of course. Naren?
I already voted for going to the city.
Yeah, sounds like 2 in favor and 2 opposed. Brahm and
Three
Rockman?
opposed. Like, no.
Rom is in favor of saving the person.
Rockman?
Rockman's on mute. It's 3-2 in favor of going to the save him.
I think so, yeah.
Going to the city.
It's 3-2 of leaving him.
I was just going to try to make it a tie just to make things complicated.
Go for
Party
it.
split.
Hey, I mean, we can split the party. I am perfectly fine with it.
I'm gonna say go to it and we can do the old classic flip a coin.
Rockman would probably be inclined to go to the city. He thinks that we got an important mission to do to try to find some information.
So we're in favor of saving the people of the city, just not this particular person.
Yeah. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yep. So parties moving on.
I thought it was 3 and 3.
No, 4-2.
No. Naren, Ristel, Rockman, Zora in favor of leaving him to die.
I thought Naren said she was in favor of going to get him.
No,
Oh, leaving him? Okay.
I said let nature take its course.
Okay. Yeah, so 4-2.
Plus, he's so far away now. I don't think we'd catch him very soon.
This isn't us.
Right.
We could run up on them and give them a surprise round.
All right. So moving on down the road. So moving on down, like I said, uh, you're probably 2 or 3 miles from the city. You can just kind of start to see it through the hills. What are you guys gonna? What are you guys gonna do?
How late in the day is it now?
Let's see, because you guys are going at a little bit of a slower pace, right?
Yeah, I was thinking we'd probably not make it to the city before dark if we were going a little bit, more moderate pace. But
Yeah, I'd say you're getting on towards the end of the day. You're looking probably dusk, 8 o'clock ish.
so should we try to camp someplace along the side of the road? We're well past the other city, right? So
Oh yeah, you're well past Valak. You're actually kind of in the edges of like farmland of Bratislor.
how far are we from Aurora's farm?
Oh, you can make it there in probably with your current pace. You could probably make it there in 15-20 minutes, or with your current like tireless and everything.
What's everybody think? Try the farm?
What if that's being watched?
Everything's being watched as far as we know.
Why are we on the road if everything's being watched?
Calm down.
That's why I asked if there was forest nearby.
Yeah, around here it doesn't look like it. Not like the Margrave or anything.
Yeah, when you start getting into Bratislor, the areas around it, it is a lot more farmland. Uh, you're gonna have some sparse spacing of trees, maybe as like windbreaks and such, but that's about it.
So would the subject of Aurora's farm have come up before? Like that place belongs to Aurora?
I would think so. I mean, if we're heading that direction, I can't imagine we wouldn't have mentioned that as an option.
Hmm. I would almost prefer just camping out of obvious sight from the road, but we could check it out.
Let's do it then.
Okay.
So I assume we would probably approach some degree of caution to try to see if there's a.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you guys are gonna kind of do the. Okay, is it clear? Kind of thing. And I'm just changing a couple of things here. Oh, wait a minute. No. Different. There we go. Did I leave the wrong thing? Okay. All right. Turn that back on. Grid. Objects. Dink. So I threw a couple of them on here, but that is not nearly enough to give credit for the scene that you guys are going to walk up on here. Let's throw some tokens on there.
Oh. Oh.
Everything looks black to me. Oh, there we
I
go.
don't see any dead cows, so I think we're good.
Well, I only threw a few of them on there. So, coming in, you guys are going to come in and you're going to see this, what can only be described as just horrifying. Bodies pretty much everywhere. Like tens of bodies. Looking around, I mean, you don't think there's enough fingers and toes. Okay, you don't think there's enough fingers on all of you to be able to count the number of bodies.
There is at least 60.
Do we recognize any of the bodies?
A lot of, I mean, if you're kind of looking, or if you're gonna get in depth and kind of dig through them, a lot of them, no, not really. They look to be almost civilians, non-combatants.
So possibly the some of the individuals that Jeff had I found, but not don't know that for sure.
Yeah, it looks like whatever happened to these people, they were massacred. You do see a couple of people in kind of not necessarily like heavy armor, but some people that actually are more equipped. They seem to be centered more like over here. Over here. They seem to actually have kind of almost soldier equipment on them.
I think Zora would try and find it to see if anyone was still just hanging on. There are enough bodies that perceivably someone might have survived this and just be near death.
And Rissel would be checking out the battlefield, kind of Batman Arkham Detective Vision, just kind of trying to see how the general flow of whatever went down here happened.
All right. Well, let's do a couple things. Zora, give me a medicine check.
Medicine. Where the fuck's medicine gone? There it is. It's just a flat D20.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Ooh.
So you're going to kind of look over these bodies, and a lot of them, it looks like whatever happened here, it's been a little while. It's been a couple of weeks since whatever happened here. So you're not going to find anything clinging to life.
No one needs to be given the Emperor's Peace. That's fine.
You will find one or two of these guys actually in like the armor, the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
They were taken down, but they kind of looked like they were probably vampires. Lesser ones, younger.
So we'll smirk at that. Anything nice on them?
So vampires don't disintegrate. Vampires don't disintegrate.
No.
Okay.
They don't turn to ash. They don't fucking sparkle. No.
Thank
Thank God.
Christ. The day you make the fucking vampire sparkle is the day I quit. Just saying.
Me too. I'm gone if that happens.
Turns
We'll
out
go
somebody
make our
just
own one.
threw a whole bunch of glitter at them. They sparkle.
That's a legitimate reason.
You mean the vampires don't sparkle?
No.
I'm quitting. I'm quitting. Sorry.
You're kidding. I'm quitting.
Ristol, give me an investigation.
Okay.
16. Yeah. So it looks like Ristol kind of looking around here. It looks like the civilians here. They more or less kind of gathered here for some reason or another. Coming along between most of them look to have been farmers, common workers, laborers, that kind of thing. But yet around, clearly some of them had some capacity to fight, or at least a few of them did, based on the geared out corpses, the equipped ones. They'd been holed up here, looking around. It looks like they were probably here for a couple days, day maybe two.
How fresh are the bodies?
Oh, they're not.
Oh, okay.
There is a noticeable smell.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, probably about 2 weeks.
So not the trolls.
No.
Does it look like they were?
They
Does
were
it look like the aftermath of a Viking raid, or does this look like they got caught by surprise and rounded up and then executed in one bunch?
This looks more like Viking raid style. Like they were holed up here, taking cover, and they were set upon by the more equipped force. Kind of going around the perimeters, checking for tracks, that kind of thing. It looks like they came in with probably half the number of troops and just obliterated everything. You can see spots where it looks like some of them might have been dragged away. But as far as casualties, this looks like 100 to 1 casualties. Every 100 civilians, they took out 1, maybe 2 equipped people.
Okay, none of the civilians are like really geared up. Like they didn't have any guards among them. It was just like at best,
yeah, it would have been like
with plows.
Yeah, most of it looks like it would have been like peasants with plows, whatever they could have gotten their hands on, makeshift armor, roof shingles that have been strapped to them as some kind of body armor kind of thing.
Okay.
So it wasn't a battle, it was a slaughter of innocents.
Mm-hmm. Another thing you guys are going to notice, none of these bodies have been picked by like wildlife.
Even the non-undead.
Nope.
I have an idea. Are there any bodies around, say, this big tree over here?
Oh yeah, there's bodies everywhere.
Zora will walk up to that one.
Sorry, a civilian or like soldier or just body?
Body in general. You say the bodies haven't been touched at all by nature.
Yeah, not by animal life. Sorry.
Yeah.
How about maggots, insects?
That'd be about the only thing that you'd see, and even then, it'd still be kind of early stages of decay.
Yeah.
You do notice the temperature here is cooler than you would expect, especially for the time of year. Coming in, be it either the scene or the just like the stagnant cold air. I imagine most of you probably almost have that shiver kind of run up your spine.
when Bristol picks up on that, the drop in temperature, the fact that this buffet has not been taken advantage of by the local wildlife, Ristel is going to try and feel for any kind of magic signature around here.
Okay, give me an Arcana. 21. Yeah, I would say it's not any one specific thing, but it is just that very, like, that almost animal sense that you get, that hindbrain sense kind of things. Like, this is dangerous. Get the fuck away from here.
I.e., unhallowed ground.
Does it feel like Sarastra?
No. This
Ristel's going to look at the rest.
So
What is it?
so if you think of it, Sarastra feels cold. Like if you were to hold an ice cube in your hand, it's just that spreading cold. This is wrong. This is no. Just if Sarastra is an ice cube, this is grabbing onto dry ice.
Ristel's going to turn to the rest of the party and just flat out say, we need to leave now. It's... something dangerous is here. We need to leave before it finds us.
And that sense kind of, like I said, kind of looking around, it's just that kind of pervades everything. Like even as Ristel's kind of walking around, kind of checking the scene out, it's just ever present. It doesn't like point like that building has a evil aura over it. No, it's just everywhere. Like, no, this was bad.
Yeah. Zora's gonna go. Oh, yeah, carry on.
Oh, sorry.
You go first.
I was just gonna ask, is it similar to Balak?
Bellic?
Yeah,
Bollock.
Balak.
This would be. So Sarastra is kind of holding on to an ice cube. Bellic would be that little twinge of fear you get like when it's completely pitch black. Like I can't see. It's black.
Does this seem like void magic in any way?
Oh, I pictured Belek as more as holding onto a cold lump of slime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd work too. For
Picture the
Bellic.
crap you have to pull out of a drain. And then
Rockman, give me an intelligence check. Or I guess either intelligence or arcana. Yeah. 14. I would say Rockman does get the sense that void magic was used here. Not to a huge degree, but it was noticeable.
So he'll just say that I get the impression that there was some void magic involved here, along with whatever else was going on. I agree. It's probably smart for us to get out of here.
Charging. What?
sorry, my headset was nearly dead. And occasionally it feeds back through my mic.
Let me see something here. Let me see something. With that too, with a 14, I would say, I would say Rockman would probably be able to almost pinpoint it. And not the necessarily location, but it feels like something was conjured from the void here. You don't get the sense it's here anymore, but somebody conjured something here. as if like minor void burn.
Yeah, seems like moving on is a smart move. Anybody opposed? I think probably this isn't the best place to stay for the night.
Not opposed in the least. What direction is this from the city?
Kind of southeast. If you guys were a mile and a half out or if you guys were like 2 to 3 miles out from the city, this is probably mile and a half. You have to kind of work your way through the hills a little bit to get to it, but yeah. It's just out of direct line of sight from the city. Just kind of the natural terrain. The farmstead itself here kind of almost sits in just a little bit of a valley. Like if you were to climb to the top of the house, you could probably see the top of Rotislor.
But I want to know why none of the animals have come here. That's... Because normally even after a large event, animals return quite quickly. Especially if there's a large amount of bait.
Give me nature.
I was actually going to ask the tree.
Yeah,
well,
Ristle,
okay. Or that.
Ristle would straight up say, because there's something bigger and badder already here.
Yeah.
Speak with plants. Limited sentience, animation. Communicate with you, follow your simple commands. Creatures past, weather, other circumstances.
All of a sudden, it's just screaming. Take me with you.
That's what I was thinking. Like, suddenly the tree can speak. Ah!
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Oh, they
does it say
come
the
at
tree...
me!
Hang on, does it specify the tree talks to just me, or can it talk to everyone?
Just you.
The
would've been
ability to
great.
communicate with you.
Damn it, that would have been so
So,
much
I
fun.
mean, I imagine it's kind of one of those, like, it doesn't, like, suddenly be able to speak common. It's more almost to comprehend languages kind of thing. Like, Zora is able to kind of sense the chemical pheromones coming off the tree kind of thing.
So we
And the
can't...
spell,
for
and the
some
spell
reason,
is
take
limited
the-
to events within the last day.
Yeah, but if there's a reason the animals haven't returned, the creature that's been here should know them. That's what I'm thinking.
That makes sense.
So yeah, Zora would just straight up ask, why have the animals not come back?
This land is... The tree would kind of, well, I guess almost shudder. I picture that, like, speak with plants from Zora as, like, he kind of, like...
He's leaning against the trees, put his hand straight on the tree.
I was actually thinking more like he kind of sits, like you can almost, like if you were to look, like he kind of like takes his boots off and stands barefoot on the ground, and hands on the tree. You can almost see like roots come out of his feet, kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, that's even
He's
cooler.
doing
Let's go with
he's doing a very swamp thing kind of thing.
that. I am Groot. Let me be Groot.
But yeah, I mean, almost communicating with, or trying to communicate with this tree. It would communicate with you that yeah, no, there's nothing left alive here aside from this tree and your group. This place was tainted. Dark magics were used here. It's left a mark on the area.
So Zora would be repeating this as he's getting it from the tree.
The
Word for
animals, yeah, the animals aren't necessarily not coming here because of not necessarily because of there's something big and bad still here. It's more like, yeah, stay away from Chernobyl because that shit's radioactive.
Is it bad that I genuinely want to visit Chernobyl?
I kind of do too.
Exactly. I want to go urban exploring in Pripyat. But yeah, Zora would repeat word for word whatever the tree said. In a bad Russian accent. How long does this plant last? Duration 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I can wander off. Has anyone else been back here in the time?
No. Nobody. Nothing.
Repeated. Why have the bodies not rotted? Why have you not consumed?
Why, the plants not consume them?
Yeah, because, well, the bodies aren't decomposing, therefore they're not consuming the meat.
Weather. Temperature dropped. It's colder. There's not enough to... The bodies themselves aren't decomposed enough for the plants to do anything with them yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, now we know it's like 5 degrees.
Even the plants themselves have been kind of stunted. They didn't die outright, but they're the tree, a couple of shrubs. They're stunted in growth. They'll probably never get any larger.
Out of interest, where are we in relation to the front gate?
I think Brom was just asking that. Like mile and a half out, kind of.
southeast a mile.
No, what I mean is,
About south of the city.
if we are south of the city, which way does the gate face?
Southeast.
Southeast.
Yep.
Damn it.
Gate southeast. Unless you're like climbing to the top of the house, you can't really see the farmstead or you can't see the city from the farmstead, and vice versa.
I was going to suggest that we burn the bodies and then use the smoke as a distraction, so the guards are maybe looking the other way when we actually go to enter the city, but if we'd just be drawing attention to the direction we're coming if the gate is on the south side. Yeah, Zora would just ask the tree, is there anything I can do for you? Can you show me the way?
Oh my god.
All right, game over. No.
Yeah, there we go. I made a meme. There we go. Yeah, he's just straight up asking, is there anything you can do for the tree?
I mean, it would ask kind of to be taken away from this place, but
How
since
big
that's
is the
not-
tree?
It's not really possible. I mean, you could cut the tree down.
I would offer that service. I would explain, yeah, we can't move you, you're too big, but I can end it for you if you'd rather.
It would actually, I suppose, it would offer up some saplings for you to transplant.
I can do this.
Save my children.
It's one of those, like, every avocado tree is just the same fucking tree. They just keep taking saplings.
Yeah.
It's like if there was ever a disease that hits avocados, there's no more avocados. Which would suck, because I like guacamole.
I'm sure there'll be some avocado trees somewhere that wouldn't be affected.
Well, that's the thing, is they're all genetic clones.
Yeah, so save some, keep them in a secure environment, let the rest die out, let the disease die out, replant.
It's the same with a lot of the bananas, but yeah, I mean, it would ask that some of its saplings be taken away.
Yeah, Zora would take any saplings it gives to him. 'Cause the tree can move, it just can't uproot.
Right.
Which is a shame because
Can it
having the ability. Yeah.
Freely move branches, tendrils, and stalks. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't. It specifies just can't uproot.
Spell doesn't enable plants to uproot themselves. Wow. Okay.
Which is a shame because I would love to have a little tree beard following me around for 10 minutes.
And then suddenly a branch from town, and Zora flies across the farm.
Oh shit! It was a Whomping Willow.
Dragonleaf tree.
Yeah, Zora will take saplings. How many saplings does she give me?
I mean, how many would you take?
As many as she wanted me to take. This is.
Give me 2d4.
Five.
There you go. That's how many you get.
Yeah, okay. Going into the inventory.
And this isn't any kind of special trees. It's an oak.
So I'm taking acorns.
I mean, you can get saplings from it too.
Yeah.
Void saplings.
Void tainted oak tree sapling is actually my backup character.
I was gonna say, could the sapling grow on Zora, but he's not gonna try.
Thought that was the name of your cover band.
What?
Void sapling.
Void tainted sapling.
Oh, void sapling. Led Zeppelin.
Mm.
I don't know why my brain just it's like, and it's that jump. Okay,
There you go.
I have to work it backwards. Anyway,
Void saplings added.
but yeah, Zora would be able to get some saplings and some information.
Yay. Trying to think if there's anything else I could ask it. Zora will turn to the rest of the party. Is there anything else you would like me to ask the three before the spell ends?
Has it felt any kind of fey presence today?
Have you felt any kind of fey presence around here today?
Yes, you
Yes. Me. I mean, you.
like the party.
Any others than us?
No.
No. No.
This isn't a question for the tree, but are there any cow corpses?
There's
Are
one.
there any cows?
There's one cow corpse.
Yeah.
Is it an adult or a calf?
Oh wait, is it? I thought that was a horse.
That is a horse.
Wait, were they horses?
There was a horse.
So
Oh,
the
what is
horse
that?
was in this one. The cows were
bummer.
down here. The cows were on the bottom left.
No.
Rabbits, you never answered. Is it the calf or is it the mother?
Give me a d20. We'll say high is the mother, low is the
I'm not
calf.
rolling for this one.
Oh,
It's the calf. It is very much the calf.
that is a very good calf.
Hey, that means Uno is out there somewhere.
Force Ghost Tac-Tac's just sat on the fence, just.
That's what I was thinking too. It's like, well, view. Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Probably not safe to eat.
Not fit for human consumption.
Vampires, on the other.
Are very
Tree
fit for human consumption. Ooh.
So So do we want to head out, or burn the bodies before heading out, or stay here since no one's been around since the nasty event? Maybe it's a safer place after all.
I wouldn't mind piling the bodies up and then maybe looting them.
Well, let's take a quick break because I gotta go to the bathroom and refill my drink.
Ditto.
52. So we'll be back at 5 after.
Yeah, sure.
That sounds good.
either. What's the lock for then?
What lock?
I just realized something on my stream software.
Don't need that spell up anymore. I know.
Okay. All right, so everybody's back. I think we mentioned kind of gathering all the bodies.
Yeah, and pilfering them. Or pilfering very specifically the soldiers, because Zora gives precisely zero fucks about the undead, and they shouldn't have the wealth.
Okay.
Leaving right away was also mentioned.
Right. So one thing at a time, though, gathering the bodies all together.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you're gonna kind of gather them all together. Did you have any specific spot you're gonna put them, or
I was going to
do like the
basically-
Lincoln Logs thing with them?
I was going to, as neatly and carefully as I can, lay the non-vampire bodies around like the plant life, so when eventually the weather does warm up, they decompose and feed the trees, which are clearly quite struggling. As for the undead, they are just being carelessly chucked in a pile by Zora, unless anyone else is helping out.
Well, like I said, these civilians, these non-combatants, you're gonna find about 114 bodies.
Yeah.
And you're gonna find about 6 soldier bodies.
Yeah.
I really don't feel like putting 120 tokens on the map, so...
That's fair. I can mentally mark out, there.
Yeah. It's
So,
basically
in
everywhere.
this area.
Yeah.
Rockmont would certainly help out, and he would also say, we could burn these bodies if that makes sense. I think I hate the idea of Aurora coming back to her home and finding all these bodies. I'd prefer to do that a little ways away from the house if possible.
Right. Like I said, the main gate to the city kind of faces more or less southeast. It's got a pretty clear sight line about 2 miles out. You're 2 to 3 miles out. You're about 1.5 miles, 2 miles out, more to the south. But the farmstead itself kind of sits in a little bit of a valley, so there's not a clear line of sight to the gate or to the city at all.
But a smoke tower might be seen. Well, will be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Some guard goes running up to the castle. The beacons are lit.
Tomorrow after next, the horses have gone to a ride.
I know it was mentioned before, but I feel it bears repeating. Maybe it's not the best idea to light all of these bodies on fire and send up a giant smoke signal that says, like, hey,
Yeah,
Zora would people are here.
No.
Well, I mean, you could just bury them too. You don't have to burn everything.
I don't
That's
have a
a
shovel.
lot more work than burning them.
Definitely don't have a shovel.
I was going to say, remember when you had Seven? Seven would just cast Trench and fill the hole in like that.
I'd
That
also
took
like to point
time,
out,
though.
you guys are at a farmstead. You could find a
don't-
shovel here.
Wait, I want a shovel then.
Yeah.
Find a digger.
Alright, Naren doesn't lift shovels.
Wow, so entitled.
No, Naren lifts the shovel to put it in the ground and lean on it, and that's as far as it goes.
Bristol doesn't wield shovels, he preys on those who do.
What would you say the damage die of a shovel is?
Improvised
1d4.
weapon. Yeah.
Okay.
D6.
I'd put it, depending on the what kind of shovel it is, D4, D6.
What kind of shovels are we looking at here?
Kind of a little bit heavier.
Are we
These
talking
are
the military collapsing ones that have sharp edges? Because those would
no,
hurt.
no, yeah.
Bucking-
These are
bucking
more
shovel.
like these are more like I got a piece of metal and I strapped it to a stick and I got a shovel.
Okay.
I mean,
No.
they're a little bit better made than that, but yeah, I mean, I'd say they're probably D4, two-handed, heavy.
This is going to take a while to dig a hole for.
Oh, you can do
Yeah,
slashing with it.
How many days are we going to stand by and interrupt this mission to bury
Yeah.
114
Yeah,
bodies?
okay, we didn't want to save the dude from the trolls. Why are we burying bodies?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Zora's against the burying of bodies. He just wanted to lay them out politely and loot them. Because they might have, say,
If
documentation
we were
or something.
trying to not pay attention to ourselves, we shouldn't have moved the bodies in the first place.
Naren didn't
People
move
would
shit.
have to
Because somebody
come here
coming
for that.
back to this area is going to say, "Oh, somebody was here."
Yeah, but no one's been here for weeks.
No, nobody's been here for a day.
And the bodies
As far
haven't been
as we know.
disturbed, so that
The
says
bodies
pretty
haven't been
strongly
disturbed
nobody's
for
been
2
here.
weeks.
The bodies were
Calm
dead
down.
for a couple of weeks. The bodies were dead for a couple of weeks, and the only report that we had that nothing's been here has been only valid for the last 24 hours.
And our own investigations of the place.
I said you haven't found any new tracks or anything like that. So.
That's why I'm not worried about like shifting the shit.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big problem. The time it takes is maybe an issue, but like, as long
Yeah,
as we're
Like
not
I said, it is getting on the end of the day. I imagine you guys were considering finding somewhere to bunk down for the night anyway.
Yeah. Like, I don't think we should bunk down here, and I think like burying them is more trouble than it's worth. But
Yeah.
For all the civilians, I would say it would probably take a day or two to bury them all.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go like
Yeah.
full, proper, 6 feet deep, bury them, give the rights, all that junk, you're looking at least 2 days.
I
If
feel
you
like
just
if-
like scrape the ground, drop them in, throw some dust on them, you can probably get that done in a full day.
Nah.
I
Yeah.
feel like if all goes well with the war here, Zobek can worry about that after. It doesn't seem like the situation here will change drastically.
No.
So we scoped out the outside. Did we check the actual building?
Didn't sound like it.
No.
Because everybody is terrified that there's something big and scary inside.
No, Naren wants to check out the building.
Yeah, Brahm also wants to go in there, particularly to get up into that tower thing to watch
Right.
for anything.
But
Okay. So,
Naren will do it cautiously, like
okay.
Zora will just be laying out the bodies while they do this then.
Right. With Zora with the bodies. Let me look here.
you suddenly become a Dracul.
Yeah, that's
A
what
plant
happens.
Dracul, that would be...
You do have fleshy
Cool.
bits.
I do, and I may have to commit Sudoku if that was the case.
You
Sudoku?
can't say
Have I not shown you that meme?
Yeah, honorable Sudoku.
Yeah.
Committing honorable Sudoku, where you get a very, very sharp pointed knife and slowly place Sudoku on your chest before killing yourself.
Just have to make it add up to 10 or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, it's possible because we did see those undead plant thingies and
Mhm.
what's it called? So
Oh, the blights, yeah.
Yeah, you could become a twig blade.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
I would fall on my own sword. if
I
that
would
was the case.
love that. I would love that so much.
I would happily play a Twig Blight, but Zora would not want to.
So, looking over these bodies real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna find that much gold. So not much. I mean, equipment-wise,
Probably on
nothing.
the soldiers.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's because on the commoners, you're really not gonna find much of anything. They basically had what they could carry. That was it.
Yeah.
For equipment-wise, about the best you're gonna find. There's like, out of the 6 bodies, it looks like they're wearing various. Like one of them actually has kind of just like this chain shirt on. The other one has some ring mail. That's
Any
about it.
weapons?
Yeah, nothing amazing.
What was the two-headed beastie using?
A club. Just some kind of improvised, like, He ripped a stalactite off the ceiling, kind of club.
Now, I came in on the tail end of that discussion. Was that a... What was that, exactly?
Nobody asked.
Yeah.
It is a two-headed person. Yeah, it's two-headed. It's probably more like an Etten.
How would there be an Etten here?
Let me pull up an Etten so I can make sure.
Vampires brought him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it'd be an Etten. What was I looking for?
The equipment that might have been on the soldiers,
Oh,
like say
yeah.
documentation.
Yeah, no documentation.
Damn, I was hoping to find marching orders or something on them.
Nope. Yeah, none of these guys looked like they had any notable rank.
Damn.
But they're notably ranked now.
All right, so yeah, I mean, right, we just came back and we're already done for the day. Okay.
That was good. That was good. Any interesting like weapons or anything on them, or is it just like standard shite?
It's
Or do they even
standard
need
stuff.
weapons?
So the Etten has kind of this larger great club, which isn't really usable as a weapon for most people. Otherwise, it looks like there's this kind of combination of long blade or long sword, short blade. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
No, nothing amazing that would be like an upgrade for your group. Unless somebody wanted a longsword.
Got two.
I always use 3.
So you know, I just picture us getting 2 more arms for Brahm.
I was actually picturing Zora as like the sword guy from One Piece. Like a sword in each hand, he's holding one in his
Yeah,
teeth.
Zora is... What's his name? Zolo?
Zolo,
See,
yeah.
I'd rather picture Brahm as not Count Grievous, General Grievous. General Kenobi!
2 arms just fold out of his stomach. What the
Yes.
hell?
I mean, it's not too late to
Deal with this
retcon.
undead slime myself.
All right, so back on top. You guys are gonna go check out the house.
Yep.
All right, going inside the house. Yeah, kind of as you guys come in, there's this very just. How are you guys going in? Is it like weapons drawn, boot the door in, look for?
No, I wanted to go in cautiously. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll have my weapon out, but I'm not gonna be like stab everything I see.
Weapons drawn, like
At the ready.
Rainbow Six, boot to door. Ah!
Hoorah.
Okay, yeah. So kind of coming up. I mean, yeah. There's nothing going on inside either. As calm as the air is out here, it's just as bad inside. Aside from what look to be like arrow holes, or from arrows kind of puncturing this building and the windows, as bad as it smells outside, the doors and windows to this building have been closed. You walk inside, and so one of the things you notice is when you walk in, it's actually pretty. Outside is kind of cold, and there's that little bit of a fog wisp. Inside, the air is calm. It's marginally warmer. You're inside. The smell has actually gone down a little bit. It has rained in the last couple of days, and inside is dry. Otherwise, it's empty. It's been kind of tossed a bit, as if the soldiers kind of came in here and tore the place apart. So it is a bit of a mess. both the furniture and belongings, and it seems most of the people died outside the house, thankfully. But you will find probably 2 bodies inside. They managed to crawl in. That's it.
Are they deteriorating as normal?
They actually seem to be in a little bit better condition than the ones outside. If only because they got inside the house.
Had we decided to stay here for a long rest before leaving?
I
don't
think the
think we-
consensus was coming to we should move on.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we never confirmed, but there was voices saying we shouldn't stay.
I'll just like move these fellas
Mhm.
out onto like the porch or something, and then I'll go up to that tower.
Okay. Set them up in like the porch swing chair.
Yeah, if there's a chair, I would definitely just kind of put them in that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Very creepy. Yeah, so climb up to this tower. You can see the road to the farm actually kind of goes away from the house. Not away from the house, because of course it does. Away from the city. Sorry. It goes away from the city and actually kind of curves around through the hills a little bit, back to the gate. But looking back towards the city, you can actually you can just kind of make out the top of the castle, the top of the tower of the castle. Like I said, it's getting a little later on in the day. I'd say by now we got here at what, about 8 o'clock. I'd say by now it's probably getting closer to 9 or 10. So it's a little tough to see, but you can kind of see pinpoints of light inside the castle.
I'll just kind of wait up here,
Hmm.
keep an eye out until we decide to leave.
Okay. And the rest of the group, what are you guys doing? Don't everyone talk at once. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And you know
One
what
at a
Zora
time.
says. You know what Zora's doing, so that just leaves Mongo, Rockman, and
Mhm.
Estelle.
So let's do this too. Do Brahm is in the tower. Naren's in the house. Zora's dealing bodies. That leaves the other 3. Bristol, what are you doing? Or Rockman. Okay.
Rockbond had earlier said he was going to help with the bodies.
Oh, okay. And bodies. Bristol?
Bristol will check the Etten over
Mhm.
to see if there's any kind of identifying marker, be it an emblem, something he's wearing, pair of bite marks on his neck, for all I know. Anything that would identify him as a shock troop for the folks in the castle. It's reasonable conjecture, at least from where I'm sitting, but
Mhm.
anything from that would be neat.
Okay. Give me an investigation.
Okay.
Seven and a 7. Okay.
Hmm?
A couple of things you'll notice. It is kind of, as you're kind of looking this body over, you're not necessarily going to find any emblems or markings or even bite marks. You will notice his back looks to be heavily scarred, and he's got this kind of almost double collar with chains coming off of it.
Okay.
And go ahead.
We could see nothing like that on the trolls from the distance we were at, right?
From the distance you were at, I'd say probably not. You didn't
Okay.
notice any chains or anything like that. No.
Gotcha.
Mongo?
I moved,
Okay. What are you doing?
helping with the bodies.
Okay. All right. So were you guys bunking up for the night?
I wouldn't want to be here at night.
Yeah. Ristal would suggest moving off at some further point off the road, but a ways away from here.
It's fields between here and the city directly, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because you said the road leads away from the city.
Yep.
You could just camp out in the fields or in any trees amongst that.
Yeah, if we could go to a wooded area, that would probably give us the best cover.
Yeah. That or try and find some hill with like an overhang or some small little valley where we wouldn't be easily observed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, aside from the little bit of a valley depression that you're in now, it's pretty much farmland coming up to the city. The most you're gonna have would be the irrigation trenches, the runoff trenches between the plots. That'd be about the only spot you would find trees as well.
Is it just a one mountain in the nearby vicinity that like Brontosaurus built on and around, or
It's
Like,
kind
are
of
we
like the
talking
highest
terrain?
peak kind of thing, but a lot of the terrain around here is pretty flat. It's kind of near the tops of mountains, as if the hills kind of came up and leveled out a little bit before coming into the spire that is Brodisler. Look at the map.
okay?
Yeah, it's hilly but not really mountainous in the farms around Brodisler. So I mean, depending on what you're trying to hide from, if you're just trying to keep out of sight of Brodisler, period, yeah, I mean there'd be kind of almost rolling hills coming up to the city. If you're trying to like find a large grove of tree or large spacing of trees to hunker in and be completely hidden from, good luck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe just trying to position a hilltop between us and the gate and the road immediately leading to Brontosaurus is our best option.
Okay. Sounds like the group is gonna kind of bunk down off the road a little bit then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody want to give me a D20?
E12.
So through the night, you guys kind of bunk down. Are you guys starting a fire at all, or no?
I wouldn't think so.
No, not this close.
I don't need it.
I don't need it either.
I'm a plant. I go into a dormant state regardless.
Okay. Like I said, I just want to make sure. So, through the night, as you guys are kind of hunkering down a little bit, you will kind of hear a little ways back towards the road. Because I imagine you guys are you're kind of off the road a little ways, trying to hide out of sight as best you can. You are going to hear this something passing by, something larger. It doesn't sound like there's like a mass of troops, but it does give just this solid as it's walking by.
Would I be able to see what it is, given I only have to do a little bit of maintenance on myself?
You have disadvantage on
Well,
perception,
yeah, I
but-
mean, with disadvantage, sure.
Well, because like in Ristal and I, we technically don't sleep. We just trance.
You sleep.
Yeah, it's face sleep. I
just
would
go
say
dormant when I
one of
start
you
sleeping.
could. I'd let you guys decide which one.
Yeah, who's on watch currently?
Yeah.
I have a perception of 5, so I'll give it
With
a shot.
disadvantage.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So Ristel's on watch, and Brahm is awake, just kind of busy.
Okay.
25, nice. Did Brahm want to get in on that?
Nah.
Said that was at disadvantage.
No, Ristel gets regular. Brahm would have had disadvantage. So this would be probably later in the rest. I imagine after leaving the farm, you're looking probably about 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock. This would be probably closer to like 3, 4 a.m. It looks to be this just kind of hulking, ogress, monstrous thing. It's a little tough to tell through the dark, but it looks to be some kind of large ogre. Has something kind of following behind him. Not as large, but still pretty good sized. Looks mechanical. From the distance, like I said, you'd have to guess this is probably some type of large ogre and some type of gear forge behind him.
Hmm. Do I get any kind of whiff that tells me this is like standard ogre stench, or maybe Dorakul ogre stench?
Oh, this thing fucking reeks. Let's see.
With a 25 perception? Maybe?
Yeah, I'd say you'd be able to kind of make it out that this gear forge has a little bit of a glow in its joints and such. Not like spotlights or anything like that, but it's just like seeing a lit cigarette in the distance at night kind of thing.
Akin to the glow that Seven used to give off.
Yeah, but a little bit more red. As far as the smell, like I said, this thing reeks. It hurts your. It is an offense to the senses that this thing has not had a bath in. You don't want to think about how long.
So it's just like sensory overload. I can't tell if it's like corpse stank or regular stank.
Yeah, it smells so bad. But with seeing the gear forge having that soft red glow and the direction of travel, it probably has something to do with this. It's probably from the city.
Is
Yeah.
does I don't remember whether Mongo was here when we fought the Fellforged.
No.
Okay.
That I know, because you guys got Mongo when you came back to the city after Tac Tac and the dragon and the city and the jail. And...
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are the Gearforged like conscious fully when they're performing maintenance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just kind of they have disadvantage on perception checks, so they're fully conscious. They're just busy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like your wife coming in. Hi, honey, I got this thing while you're working on the computer. Same with Zora and Kijani. Is they're conscious. They're just busy.
We're dormant.
Yeah.
We go dormant. We do essentially sleep. It's just we don't really get the same drowsy effects of being woken up. It's just like, and we're awake now.
It's weird.
And we're asleep now.
Yeah, Arista will say something when somebody wakes up, but they didn't see us, so feels like we can wait on it a little.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't say they didn't see you. I said you saw them.
Yeah, but they're marching on. It's not like they're stomping over the hill.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, looking at it, it looks like they're probably patrolling that road.
Okay. Yeah, so no imminent confrontation seems to have passed on by, so no sense of real urgency.
All right, and anything else? Otherwise, you guys will pretty much make it through the rest of the night. Daybreak kind of comes up the next day. Everybody gets another long rest. And, you guys are heading out.
Yay.
Alrighty.
Which way you guys going?
To the city?
Yes.
Yeah.
I imagine to the city.
And maybe find
Front gate, side
tallish,
door.
maybe find a tallish hill close by. See if we can get what could closely approximate a bird's eye view, maybe.
Well, let me see something here. There was actually a really good rendering of brought us lower a while back. See if I can find it. How long ago was it?
It was a fair while ago. I vaguely
Yeah.
remember it. I think it was the first time we were here.
No, it was after that. Way after that. Let me look through real quick, see if I can find it. Not that one. Not that one. That's July. Well, that sucks. Hmm. Yeah, I can't find it. Oh well, I'll find it another day. Essentially, if you picture almost like looking at the Broadosaur from the side, like I said, it's kind of built up. That they more or less took a peak of a mountain or a mountain peak, shaved at the top, put the castle there, and built up the sides of it. So if you were to picture something like almost like a wedding, or almost like a wedding cake, having the layers kind of coming in, that's kind of like what the city looks like. And it wraps around this thing. The outer layer is going to have kind of the main city itself. Actually has some pretty decent walls, probably about 15, 20 feet high. Inside, you can actually just make out another set of walls a little bit higher, or that kind of start higher up and go probably 30 feet. And you can see this castle kind of poking up above those walls as well. So it's just kind of like a two-layer thing. But it's really kind of built up these mountainsides.
What's the situation at the gates? Is there any foot traffic or carts or anything like that? Anybody coming in or out?
It's sparse. Depending on how long you were to watch it. If you're just watching it like right now, like what do you see? I'd say this early in the morning, you'll see just kind of the various carts coming from the surrounding farms coming in there. Probably 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Guards out front that seem to be checking out the carts.
Do they seem to be especially diligent, or are they kind of paying lip service to the idea of checking things out?
So as you watch, from the distance, you're kind of watching this, and they seem to be checking these carts pretty well. Every now and then they'll just, whether it be that they recognize the person, or maybe they're doing random checks, stuff to say, but every now and then they'll just wave somebody through. I'd say out of the 6 to 10 of them, probably about every third cart, they just kind of wave through.
With no inspection?
Very briefly.
Okay.
I'd say one of the carts that you see as they pull up, you see they kind of grab the driver and pull him off to the side. You see another group comes up and moves the cart away. You don't see the driver come back out.
From where we're perched, you said we could see inside the city some. Like, can we see any of the, like the interior near the walls?
No,
Like,
not
within-
really. It's you can kind of see like the rooftops kind of poking up above them.
Okay,
You can't see like the people moving around or anything like that.
gotcha. Any kind of guards on the walls?
Yep.
Fuck.
How far would you say this hilltop is from, like, the first set of buildings closest to the wall?
Closest to the outside of the wall? Or the inside?
Like the buildings inside,
Inside the wall.
closest to the wall.
I'd say from where you're at, you're probably about 3/4 to a mile away from the wall.
Okay. Does it look like we'd be able to see any rooftops of buildings as we approach the wall, like on foot?
No. You'd be able to see in through the gate. Yeah, the gate pretty much stays open while these carts are coming and being inspected and going through. They don't like open and close the gate for every cart. So they stay open, so you can see in.
Yeah, it kind of rains all over my dimension door idea.
I mean, you could always chance it.
No
I
one
mean,
has
yeah,
the,
but
no one has the ability to go invisible, do they?
Yet.
not really.
Rockmon should work on that.
Hang on, let me see. What might a familiar do?
I think it's Dimension Door. So you've got what you call it, the fade thingy, right?
No, I'm wondering what my familiar can do. Like if he can cast invisibility.
I don't think so.
Where did I put
You,
the damn thing?
no, the Fey creature I don't think can be a ghost.
I mean, there's greater find familiar or whatever, and if you have an imp, it can go invisible.
The Chernamoy can cast invisibility.
Can it? Okay.
Can it cast invisibility or can it turn itself invisible?
It can cast invisibility.
Oh,
We could potentially get somebody in relatively easily if we. How long does invisibility last?
A minute?
an hour?
Pretty
Minute
sure
or
it's
an
like
hour?
longer.
I don't remember.
Concentration up to an hour, if I
There we go.
remember rightly.
I like a minute better.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
No, but yeah, but no, but
So Rockmon could give somebody the ability to fly over the wall if they were
Is seen
invisible.
by every guard? Oh, if they're invisible.
If they were invisible, they probably could make it in pretty easily.
Yeah, but what would they accomplish once they're inside?
Well, in theory, we could have somebody cause a bit of a distraction, so it might make it a little easier to get in. Or we could just try to check out the sneaky entrance that Vendor told us about.
is there the equivalent trick of the Book of Matches and a straw pile a thing in this world? Probably not.
I mean, throwing a book of matches onto a straw pile? Yeah.
No, there was
mean-
a really old trick that you tear one off, put it just so it's in the book and strike it and leave it in somewhere like, say, a train car. You then get off the train and the train carries on. Once the matches reach the book, it goes bang, it sets fire to whatever's around it.
I mean, if we wanted to do that to some poor schmuck's cart as it's rolling in.
That is what I was thinking, but I don't think books of matches are a thing in this world.
So step 1, in a world of magic,
Prestidigitation is.
invent a book of matches.
Ooh,
I mean, prestidigitation is a thing.
Yeah.
this is true.
As is, I think, thaumaturgy is the same thing?
Yeah, thaumaturgy.
The problem is the
It's
traffic
range.
around the gate is pretty sparse. So,
And the 30-foot range.
you know, the
Yeah.
odds that we'd be spotted doing something like that.
That's why I said the Book of Matches trick, because it takes, say, 4 or 5 minutes to burn down the length of a match that's lead flat.
Yeah. I think with the possible exception of Brahm, just because he is a Gear Forge, maybe we just take our chances passing through separate.
Separate? That sounds not ideal.
Yeah,
What's
like,
the worst that could happen? Whoever gets captured gets put in the prison. Assumedly the same prison as where your friends are.
Brahm, don't you have that disguising cape or something like that?
No? Well, I can change my armor to look however I want, but
I don't think that extends to his new body as well.
I mean, the best case, you get through the gate. Worst case, you die horribly right there.
Speaking of that, is Brahm wearing armor?
Yeah, you can wear armor.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do I have
I was
like a
going to say,
natural
7 more
AC?
tattered hide.
Like
Or
I
we
was
could
wondering
go-
if he had a natural AC,
No,
what would happen?
they don't
No,
get
they
natural
don't.
AC.
Oh, okay.
or we could,
If I did
you
have
know,
one, I could just
go
choose
around to
whichever
the
part.
sneaky area, the sneaky part way in.
Yeah, I think we should probably scout the sneaky part.
My thought is we dropped by Aurora's farm and saw all that.
Mhm.
How did they know to ambush that so effectively, where it was just fish in a barrel?
Well, it's not like it was a
Scouts?
small elite team. It was like over 100 people, mostly like civilians. Probably not that hard to track.
Right, but who pointed them that way? The farm was out of the way.
Maybe someone that was trying to get in good with the vampires. Heard that there was rebels looking for support.
Somebody working hand in hand with their leader.
I
Or
know what
even
you're
just
trying to say, but there are any number of reasons that that could have happened, and there's absolutely no use speculating.
Correct.
When it's going to take us down the way that he specifically recommended that only the royals know about,
He didn't say only the royals. He said some of them do
only
know
a
about
handful. Who else but the royals and their trusted people would know about it?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you know? Because I don't know. We're gonna go check this place out, and if we decide that we want to take that entrance, then we're gonna do it then. If we get there and we say, too sketchy, then I guess we're gonna walk in the front door. Does that sound good? Because until we know more, there's no use talking about it.
Yep.
I like the front door idea, but very well.
All I know is I do better in darkness.
Well,
Alright.
so do vampires.
So it sounds like we're at least looking at the side entrance.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, coming around. It takes you guys a few minutes to kind of get around. This is a decent sized city. You get around, and yeah, if it weren't for Vinder's notes, there's no way you guys would have noticed this. Like, even looking closely, you could see how people that live here probably don't even know it's there. Like, live right outside of it probably don't even know it's there. It's actually surprisingly secluded. Kind of one of the towers of the wall basically comes down, and as you kind of, you have to kind of dig through it a little bit. There's some pretty thick brush right in front of it, bushes and such. But you find a decent sized. It looks almost like a storm or a sewer drain. The top of it, it looks as if the bars themselves have the upper parts are actually still pretty well intact, but the lower parts have partially kind of rusted, and there's a little bit of an opening where it'd be a little bit of a squeeze, but for the larger people like Mongo. But yeah, you guys could squeeze underneath of these bars and get in.
Rockmont, I'll just say, I'm not too terribly large. I think I could squeeze through there pretty easily. I can go check it out and let everyone know what it looks like a little further in if you want.
I could send my owl in.
I think that's a better idea.
Let's check for magic. Any signs that anything's been through here of late?
Give me an Arcana.
Rockmont will do that.
Ah,
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any magic sense coming through here. I mean, nothing noticeable or pervasive. Yeah.
what about
Rockmont
Rockman?
has I don't know. Can I do it too, or is that the sort
You
of the?
said you
I
were.
mean, yeah, I said let's do it, and you said you were gonna. So
All right.
Yeah, same thing. Nope, not really getting any sense of anything magical through here.
Hmm.
Somebody had a particularly strong bowel movement. Otherwise, no.
I'm just gonna look towards where still we could send our familiars in to scout.
That's an option.
No one would get hurt if there was a trap.
Yeah, but I like him.
You can get him back!
That's the thought. I'll send him in, but
He understands. While I'm petting my owl.
you haven't met him yet, so you don't know what he's like.
Is he an asshole as well? I just picture the owl being like really kind and friendly like Naren, and then just like a fucking mouse next to like Ristel, just both of them arms crossed, scowling.
His middle finger's extended.
Yes.
Yeah, so Ristel will summon forth his familiar, and
Does he have a
mention-
name?
he does. I haven't figured one out from him yet.
he does, but I'm not telling you.
It's a secret.
Hold on 1 second here.
Yeah, the creature's a Chernomoy. It's like, imagine like a sprite, but
Draconic.
much more draconic in appearance. He's got like dragon wings. He's got horns coming out of the back of his head.
That won't stand out.
Basically, an even smaller version of Tac Tac, but with actual wings.
Not
Oh.
quite. Like he's not. The horns and the wings are the only thing that's draconic about him. Like I said, imagine a sprite with horns and wings. But yeah, Ristel will kind
His
of.
name is Flix.
I'm okay with that.
Because he flicks you off.
Ristel
He
will.
might flick you off, but not us.
Ristel will chat with him a little bit, explain the situation to him, and yeah, Flix will turn invisible and head down the passageway.
Bink. There you go. Did I give him a token? I didn't.
Hopefully he has infravision.
Are we seeing just a large map?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not a detailed. Okay.
No. Because I don't have that super detail of a map for Brotherslur.
I need you to have every tunnel and every building mapped out.
It's a good thing you run your own game, huh?
Chop, chop.
That's how I built my maps.
Shots fired everywhere.
So does Ristel have some sort of a telepathic connection to the
Yeah.
familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Up to
within
100.
feet.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a map.
That's a pretty cool map.
I don't see anything.
In Discord.
Oh.
Oh, that's Minister.
Yeah, it's just straight up Minister Earth.
Let me do this.
I just realized that the main city in my campaign is based in Minister.
Okay. I had to throw that on there real quick. So, let's see. That lets you guys communicate to him, what, 100 feet away?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've given him instructions to continue on a ways till he finds something interesting, or if he gets jumped, in which case, come back here.
Okay. So, as you guys kind of, as your familiars kind of go in, any instructions for your Fey Owl, Naren?
Well, can my Fail even fly in there?
It'd be cramped, but yeah.
I mean, owls can fly around in barns. I'm sure they can fly around in smaller rooms. They do, in fact.
Yeah, it'd be a
Yeah.
tight squeeze just to be able to get in, like, under the bars. Once you get inside, it's probably 6-8 feet across.
Oh, okay.
It'd be a little tight for a
like a-
full wingspan, but yeah,
Seems like the owl could just fly over the wall.
It could.
not too. For that matter, so could the Chernobyl.
Probably raise a few more eyebrows.
So
you
is
don't
it,
think a Fey Owl would?
An owl at dawn.
I mean, a Fey owl is just... I mean, unless you put anything weird on him.
This has
That's
got a
an owl,
spooky
right?
ghost thing.
picture like a it looks kind of like a normal owl, but it has like the teeth.
The teeth. Oh god, a
Yeah,
beak
there-
with teeth.
There's an owl in the game. I'd have to go back and find it. I want to say it's in Volos, but it looks like an owl, but it has like
Oh,
a mouth
that
under
shit.
its beak.
That shit, no.
No, thank you, sir.
No, I know what you're talking about
Creepy,
now,
creepy.
and that,
Like, I could settle for like the ridged beak of like octopus and squid, but no, you do not put a mouth behind the beak.
Yeah, no, it's not behind the beak. It's like where its
Like under
chest
it,
should
yeah.
be. That's where the mouth is.
Oh, okay then, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's
I
more
just-
like the
Beautiful
neck.
creature.
Yeah.
See,
Like, the beak is just for show.
I just pictured the owl to be more like grays and purples with like shadow tendrils. coming out of
off-colored.
it.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool too. Yeah.
But yeah, same thing. Keep an eye out for anything interesting.
Okay. So they're gonna go out, and you'll be able to track them for a little ways. It's clear until up through where you can track them. They're gonna go out. We'll come back about 20 minutes later, and your Fey Owl is gonna come back, and it's gonna have this decent-sized rat. Body itself is probably about a foot long. And it's gonna basically drop it at your feet.
Hell,
You told it to find something interesting.
I'm just surprised it hasn't happened before.
I'm just like Naren's just pinching the bridge of her nose because it has happened before. Okay, nobody's seen it though.
The Chernobyl Flix is gonna come back, and he's just gonna be covered from head to toe in. You don't even want to know what. You don't even want to think about what it might be that he's covered in. And
Fecal matter.
he's gonna come back shaking his head. Yeah, owl pushed me over.
You got between it and the rat, didn't you?
Yes. I fell in.
I'm sorry about that.
The whole time he's just kind of doing that, like, you know, that stance that people always get. It's like if a car just drives by and splashes you. So the whole time his hands are just kind of like, oh, I need a shower. Oh, I stink. Ew.
I also kind of picture like a pouty toddler.
Oh, very much. Yeah, he's not happy.
Would you?
He's cleaner now.
I don't know about you, but I'd be pissed off if an owl the size of me came over and pushed me in a pile of shit.
I think the owl was bigger.
That's even more
It
terrifying.
might be, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the owl is bigger.
Yeah, because I think the Chernobyl is tiny and the owl is small.
The size comparison, that would be an owlbear to me.
Mm-hmm. It's a size category up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big old owl.
So have we effectively learned nothing?
I mean, yeah, there's nothing in there. Other than exactly what you would expect to be in a sewer.
So we're good for at least the first 100 feet or so.
Well, they went a lot further than 100 feet.
Oh, yeah,
We
we're
were
about
We
to
were
20
waiting
minutes.
for 20 feet or
It's
20
just the-
minutes.
Yeah. The mental connection only goes 100 feet.
They could have missed something after that. Who knows?
They would have told
Maybe.
Bristol will thank Flix and tell him to go take a load off and like dismiss him.
And take a load off. He's going to give you the most disgusted look.
When dismisses, is
Yeah,
there just like
Rista will-
the brown outline of where he was that then just sort of falls to the floor?
Yeah, when he gets that look, Bristol's gonna pause and just like, sorry, didn't mean that.
Rockmon cleaned him up anyhow, so.
Okay.
And then it's just gonna tell her how to eat her food, or eat its food rather.
Oh, it's, yeah, it brought back, and as soon as you weren't going to eat it, it was happily devouring.
So what's it going to be? Shall we try this this entrance, or shall we just go up to the front gate and hope to get lucky?
Well, what are we doing here? Are we scouting or are we gonna stage a breakout? Because Vendor said this is supposed to go into the castle courtyard.
The plan I thought was to do scouting. If we had some great stroke of luck and could break some folks out, that would be terrific. But I have my doubts on us being able to do that.
Right. So if that's all we're aiming to do here, that's the primary objective, is to scout and get some information that the army can use. Maybe we don't take this way.
Well, unless this is potentially an avenue that an expeditionary force could use as a first attack. So if we knew that this was an effective method to get in, then that would be valuable information.
If Flix and Aaron's owl didn't find a way out of the sewers after 20 minutes, I don't know, it might not be worth exploring. Not by ourselves.
Well, I'm willing to go explore if you guys want to go through the front gate. I can see what I can find here.
Bender gave us a map of the sewers, right?
Mm-hmm. Did he?
Yeah, we know how to get to where we're going.
I thought he just gave a map to where the entrance was outside.
That's what I thought.
No, I gave like, follow this path through the sewer, too.
Oh.
Oh.
See, he's a nice, reliable guy who gives you exactly what you need.
I knew I should have
To
been.
wander into a trap.
Including immortality, if you ask nicely.
I knew I should have been looking through the owl's eyes to make sure it was doing what it should be.
I imagine during like the first 100 feet, that's what you guys were doing. Kind of sharing senses, seeing what they see. And then after that, after you lose that, then they continue on with their orders. Yeah. And the owl found something interesting.
Not to me.
To it.
I'm willing to try that map.
As am I.
I think we've got the map. We come here to do what we first set out to do. Get a read of the city, find any information the army can use. Then, maybe, we'll use the information vendor provided.
Still provides. How are you guys going to get into the city?
I mean, this entrance is as good as any, but
Not if it puts us out in the castle courtyard.
but I would prefer the front gate. A vampire did not tell me to go through the front gate. Or a damn.
If we come out in the castle courtyard, we're going to get into a fight. If we go into the front gate, we could probably avoid one if we just keep our heads down and look as unassuming as possible.
Splitting the party is always an option.
Yep, a 7.5 foot monitor is going to look unobtrusive.
Well, if you don't pick a fight with the gate guards, that'd probably make things easier.
And a shadowed
All right.
Gearforge.
How about this? I'll go into the sewer entrance, just to verify that the map is correct and that we could get to the courtyard. I won't go out. I'll just go far enough in to verify that we can. It's a passable area, so that we know it's useful, and then we can try going in through the front gate, or you guys can go ahead and start going through the front gate while I'm doing that.
I'll go with you into the sewers.
If you could fit, that might make some sense. You would stand out less, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little bit tight, and like Mongo probably scrape himself a little bit getting in, but yeah, he could squeeze in.
Is everyone in agreement?
I like my chances better in the sewers, but otherwise, yeah.
I prefer the front gate. I will go with whatever you guys want to do.
Rom, you probably are also more likely to stand out. I suppose you and Mongo could go investigate the sewers, and the rest of us could go through the front gate. If we take forever to get started, it's going to get dark, and we're going to be in a situation that we don't want to be in.
Didn't they say something about Zora probably standing out too?
A race that notoriously hates undead? Stand out in a city of undead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Zora should go through the front door.
I mean,
He really wants to.
I would sooner go through the front door and bite my tongue than go through the sword that a Damphir told me to
Bite
do.
your tongue or them kill you, which, I mean...
My race is rare in this region. I doubt they would actually recognize me.
It's a fair point. Probably more of a curiosity than a threat.
So long as I behave myself, which I will, I am just a traveling artist who heard that the city is quite beautiful and wanted to paint it.
So, Zora, you, Ristal, and I go through the front gate. Naren, Mongo, and Brahm check out the sewer entrance.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think having a smaller group makes us stand out less going through the front gate anyhow.
All right.
Rockman's going to start walking towards the front gate.
So we got Team 1 and Team Pooh. Okay.
I'm out. Naren dies.
I had
Sorry,
to.
guys. Bye.
I had to. It was too easy. Sorry, Stream 1 and Team Poo.
Fuck's sake.
I gotta go.
Yeah, there's a little bit of me in that decision. The option to retrain to be a plumber was one, but I always said if I was going to be covered in shit, I'd rather it be food and not literal shit.
Mm.
Yeah, I wouldn't go through the steps.
All right, so we'll go ahead and wrap things up for the night. So it sounds like, let's see here, we'll do this. You liked it, you know.
Part of me does.
So, gate, sewer. There we go.
Is that what that S stands for?
Yeah, it's close enough to an S. Yeah.
Thought it might have stood for like shit or something.
This is not some kind of lowbrow show. Come on, a lowbrow game. What do you think this is?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I can't move it. There we go. All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap things up for the night. Let's see here. I believe I'm probably gonna have to work next Sunday. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Can you work this Sunday?
Well, I mean, the guy I'm covering for is going on a cruise, so unless we move the entire ship up to like 12 hours ago, probably not.
Cruise sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except he does it every year, right around this time, which also coincides with my birthday and my work anniversary, so I don't get to do anything on my stuff. Bastard.
Book ahead of time.
Hmm. Yeah, but
I'm
he
already
does.
thinking about
He
booking
takes
my
like
birthday off.
he takes vacation with his wife, so I'm not gonna mess with that. Even though I'm nice enough to try to take my days off during the week, but whatever. All right, but yeah, so probably no game next week. I got to check and see. I'm gonna try to get out of the game the week after, or not the game, the work the week after, because he's gone for 2 Sundays in a row. I'm gonna tell the boss, hey, suck it. But we'll see. See how well that works out.
Right on.
Let's do this. Hold on a second. Alright, well, we're going to wrap things up for the night, folks. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed. I had a couple of tense moments. Wrap things up. Like I was just saying, no game next week. And otherwise, yeah. Everybody, have a good night. Bye.